So I'm sure you have been in a situation where somebody asks you on a date or somehow you're about to link. Let's hope not, ladies. Let's hope we are going on dates. Only no hangouts, no links, no let's get coffee unless it's a business meeting. But the butterflies before, the nervous feeling before, the urge to take 5 shots before for some people, it can be a lot. It can be very overwhelming, especially if you have been out of the game for a while, or maybe you just went through a breakup and this is one of your first date back out there. I am here today to give you a little bit of guidance and help to get through, not even get through, but like enjoy that first date and help take away some of your nerves. I can confidently say that I don't really get nervous for first dates anymore, and a lot of this has to do with my mindset shift. And if we're just going on a date, or maybe you're new at dating or whatever, I think it's kind of natural to be nervous in the sense of, are they gonna like me? How is this gonna go? What are they gonna think of me? And instead, you have to kind of switch your thinking to, am I gonna like them? What are they going to do to impress me? Especially if you're someone who dates men. Once you understand that the man should be trying to impress you, it takes a lot of the pressure off, because, we want to be funny, we want to be likable, we want to be this and that, but you really just need to be yourself. You need to look good, smell good, and have so much confidence in yourself that anybody who doesn't see that, it's a reflection on them and not you, because you have such a strong faith and belief in yourself. I think most women can benefit from the advice of, when it comes to relationships and dating, doing way less. I don't even mean to sound this in a way that's sexist or like an old man from the 1930s saying this, but like, a lot of women are talking way too much on dates. And I just mean that in the sense of, you don't need to be revealing so much to somebody that you don't know. A lot of women want to talk about their past boyfriends, their ex. They want to talk about their trauma. They want to talk about their attachment style with a man who, first of all, probably doesn't care. And then especially a man that you just met or that you are just getting to know. He hasn't deserved any of that information, so stop talking. This doesn't mean to have awkward silences or to be awkward or try to come across as boring, but it just means to do more with your eyes, your body language, and to ask more interesting, unique questions, like not job interview questions, but just to have genuine curiosity about the person that you're on the date with. A lot of flirting and seduction is done without speaking. And again, a lot of women just want to be so honest and like, I just want someone who's emotionally available and all this stuff. But it's literally just a true fact of life, no matter who you're dealing with, whether it's a man, someone you're dating, anyone, any person. If you give too much away about yourself at first, it kind of comes across a lot of the times as like trauma dumping, or like the person on the receiving end of that can feel like a deer in the headlights, the headlights being your trauma that nobody asked for and that you shouldn't be telling someone you don't know just for your own good, So I think a really good, important rule of thumb for women is to always leave them, the man, wanting more. We want to accommodate, we want to be agreeable, we want to let someone know that we're interested, but you kind of have to just do the opposite of what you naturally want to do. So if a man is like, let's take this to a second location, why don't you come over, I'll make us drinks. No. First of all, a man trying to get you to come to his house in any circumstance, you know what he's trying to do. Even it could be the most wholesome thing. He could swear on his life to you, nothing's going to happen, but okay, then why do you want me to come over? No. So always leave them wanting more. It's important that you're the one to initiate having to leave. You're the one to hang up the phone. You're the one to always pull back. And it's not about playing games or being avoidant or whatever therapy speak you want to use. It's just about leveling out the playing field, because as women, I think naturally, for a lot of women, we kind of overgive, but I think a lot of that also is kind of taught to us to, put other people before ourselves, to make sure other people are comfortable. Well, I want to make sure that they know that I like them. I don't want to offend them by not going to their house. No. And so by pulling back actively, by consciously pulling back, you're actually just leveling the playing field when it comes to dealing with a man. So keep that in mind and stop feeling bad. This girl on TikTok went on a whole rant about how this stylist in New York scammed her out of like $2,000 plus. And she was like, well, I don't want to say his name because I felt bad. It's like, babe, he already scammed you. The damage has been done. Like, why are you worried about his feelings? But it's like, I get it, because that's kind of how we're taught. You have to unlearn a lot of that consciously, especially when it comes to a man that wants to sleep with you, or that, you're dating, or that you're seeing, because they literally rely on you feeling bad and being emotional, quote unquote, to get what they want. Shira7 has this really great video. It's like a clip on TikTok where she's like, you want men to start talking about love? Start talking about money. And you'll see how quickly they're like, well, what about love? Can't relationships be about love anymore? Like, what about love? What about love? And they're trying to steer you back to thinking with your emotions and to making decisions based on emotion rather than logic. Because logically, when it comes to dealing with a man, you need to be looking at what he's doing for you, how he's tangibly improving your life. You cannot, rely on love and like chit chat and like the words that he says and how good he makes you feel, because all of that can be just taken away. It's words, it's fluff. Yeah, it might feel good, but so many women have their lives ruined over the belief in a fairy tale, or the belief that someone is going to change, that a man is going to change, or that he really is going to come through, or like, well, maybe this time. And you cannot invest emotionally, or you can't invest anything. You can't invest time. You can't literally invest a single thing into a man until he has 1,000% proven to you that he does what he says he's going to do, that he's improving your life, and that he's someone you can rely on. And that's another thing too. I think a lot of women almost have too high expectations of a man. We want to believe in the fairy tale that we're sold. And so in every man that we maybe go on a date with, or that we meet, or that we have a crush on, we kind of expect them in an ideal world to fit this fantasy of the perfect guy who's gonna, be a man, but also be in touch with his emotions. There's literally a meme about it. I think I talked about it before, but it's like a tweet or like a Facebook post, which I love the Facebook post memes. Those are like the best, like with the Facebook brand emojis. It's just like they hit different. But it's like, girls these days want a guy that's from the hood but plans picnics, and it's like all these contradicting traits. And that's really true, And I think that's why it's very actually, it's kind of ironic that it's so easy, therefore, for a man to sell that dream, to sell that fairy tale, to sell that fantasy lie, because he can manipulate his words and make it seem like he could be the perfect guy at first. And that's where like love bombing comes into play and all of that. My whole life I've just been waiting for the perfect guy, like maybe, and then it's like, oh my god, I think I found him. But then after 2 weeks, sometimes you realize like, oh, it was all a lie. It was all chit chat. It was all just talk. It was like he secretly has a wife and 8 other girlfriends and like a baby on the way, like all this stuff. Stop living in the fairy tale. And it can be hard, especially if you're attracted to someone and like you feel like the chemistry is there, and it's like, well, this feels right. Like, what do you mean? But you have to, again, get out of your emotions, get out of your physical animalistic attraction. Think logically. How can this man improve my life? How, or, if it is someone you're dating or with, how is this man improving my life? What am I gaining from this? Where will I be in 5 or 10 years if I continue to be with this person? These are all the things you have to ask yourself, because especially as a woman, our time is so valuable. We age a lot quicker than men, and time is money, babes. Like, I am not going to waste any time. So this is all to say that when you go on a date, especially a first date with a guy, you need to be listening, paying attention to what he's about, what he says, how he's trying to impress you. Is he impressing you with just his words, like talking about all the money he makes, and then the check comes, or like he's acting kind of stingy with what he wants to order, or asks you to split the bill, God forbid, at the end, you know? Go into it with curiosity. Like, let's see what this guy is really about. Because if you go into it with these huge expectations and like maybe this could be the one, like, oh my God, is he gonna like me? Is he gonna pick me? You're gonna have all this anxiety before because you're placing his opinion of you on a pedestal with these unrealistic standards that you're conjuring up, and it's just not even reality, and you're giving yourself a stomachache and a headache over it, and then you go on the date and you're like talking way too much because you're nervous, and it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy because now he doesn't like you because you're just being a mess. Like, no offense. So when instead you can treat it not like literally a job interview and that you're like asking questions in a job interview way and it's like super stiff and formal and professional, you know, you can add your seduction and like your ooh and like be yourself, but treat it like an interview in the sense of I'm gonna wait till this guy proves himself. I'm gonna see. And even if he does everything right on the second or on the first date, it's like there's still the second date. Like, you don't truly know somebody yet, you know? It's like, okay, you can proceed this much, then you can proceed this much. And I think that's how you need to be looking at it. And I really think it's important to not go any further when you do see those red flags. I know, especially when I was younger, and I know a lot of you may relate, it's like, okay, well, there was a few red flags, but I'm just gonna hang out with him because I'm bored, or like, it's for the plot, or it'll be funny, or whatever. And it's like, that's how you get caught up, because your guard's a little down because you're like thinking to yourself, well, I'm just gonna see him because I'm not taking it serious. But then he uses those words and those manipulation techniques, and then you're, you know, just hormones are like attracted, and it's like you're creating a bond without even realizing it because you're like actually consciously telling yourself, oh, it doesn't matter. So your guard is down, and that's how they get you. So you have to be very intentional, especially as you get older, you know? Like, obviously it's okay if you're a teen to do that, very early 20s, but like as you get older, shit gets more serious, and it's not cute to hang out with a guy because you're bored. Like, there's so many more important things to be doing, babes. Like, rent is due, you know? It's not cute. It's not a good look to hang out with a guy because you're bored, or like for the plot, or like whatever. Leave it alone at the first red flag. You guys know my classic can you get the limes story time. And even a more recent story time, I'm not sure if I talked about it in a podcast or if it was just in a TikTok live, which my TikTok lives have been going a little crazy. Well, not really, but like having a lot of LOLs. A recent date, the guy was just being an asshole, like subtly the whole time, but I peeped it. Like, I was peeping it because I treat these situations like, okay, I'm gonna see. Like, I don't need to be nervous. It's like, I trust myself to act right, and I know I look good, and you asked me on this date, so obviously you like what you see. Let's see what you're about. And he was just throwing all these little, like just kind of trying to make me feel bad about myself, or like what I did for a living, or like just he was trying to insult me from any angle. Like, for example, and maybe this will ring a bell for you, because again, I can't remember where I told this story, but he was trying to kind of call me dumb because he asked if I went to school, and then he was telling me that I need a better 5-year plan because it's like what I have right now is like not a good idea. Like, he literally said that. But then he was like, oh, like, you read? Like, nobody reads these days. And I was like, oh, you don't read? And he was like, well, nobody does. And so it's like, you're trying to call me dumb, but then like you're the one that doesn't read. You're trying to like make me feel weird for reading when you literally just tried to call me dumb. So the point being, like, once you kind of remove, like, you take a step back and you're able to look at things logically, it's like you just kind of see that guys like that, they don't make any logical sense. Like, they're just trying to bring you down from any angle that's gonna work. So they're gonna try all these different angles, and it's like not really gonna make sense logically. You can't fully explain their behavior or make sense of it because they don't make sense, and that's kind of by design. Like, they're just, again, gonna try from any angle to make you feel insecure or whatever, because the point is, like, they want you to feel bad about yourself so that you lower your standards so that you'll sleep with them or be with them or whatever it is that they want out of you, you know? So that's why you have to remain firm in your standards. They're your standards. And anyone that tries to lower your standards is literal dust, like insecure POS, like go back to where you came from. Like, obviously you don't belong here, babes. And that also helps with anxiety and nervousness on dates, because you just don't have to take anything personally. So it could be like such a bad date, but it's like, okay, like I know I've had really good dates, so obviously it's a you problem, babe. Like I think especially as you do start to level up, like I've found for myself, and I think it's just also part of getting older and having more game and more experience, you just kind of see all these little games that guys play and how they try to figure you out and like figure out which category to put you in, get to lower your standards. And the more you level up, the more they almost try to do that because they want to prove to themselves that they could get you, that they could trick you, that they can manipulate you into what it is that they want from you. Be on point, just recognize game, like don't go into these dates just blabbing about your whole life and your ex-boyfriend and like all your trauma and why things didn't work out. Like, no, that's not chic. That's not chic, period. But especially with these guys that are gonna like try to figure you out. Like, what kind of girl are you? And what are your standards? Like, will I be able to sleep with you tonight? Like, they're so dumb, bro. But you just have to peep game. And just know that you are worthy of respect. You're worthy of a dinner date. I don't know why some people at least act like that's the craziest thing. You're literally just proving that you're not chic. Like, all the, like, to the guys out there that are like, well, I wouldn't take a girl to dinner. You're just literally saying that you're broke and that you're not chic. Because you know how many guys just will take you to dinner off rip? Like, it's not that deep. Like, it's not a shopping spree, it's dinner. You don't eat dinner? So speaking of all of this, I recently it went a little viral on TikTok and IG Reels. My video that was like, it's getting cold out, ladies, hide your apartment. And this is basically in reference, I know those who get it. A lot of people didn't get it though. And I think that's part of why it went viral is people were like trying to explain it in the comments and people started arguing in the comments. I'm like, yes, run up those views. But basically, there's, dusties, for a lack of a better term, we're just going to use Shira Seven's term. There's dusties out there, guys who don't have their lives together, who usually stay with their mom, whose moms usually enable their dusty behaviors, and they use cuffing season as the opportunity to stay in your house, your apartment, because they don't have their own apartment, because they don't have any credit. They ruined their Chase bank account and all their other bank accounts. Bro. Their mom is finally kicking them out because their mom is finally fed up with their dustiness and they need somewhere to stay. The thing about a dusty is they have nothing, They don't have money, they don't have a career, or a lot of them don't even have a job. And so their only thing is their words. That's the only real thing they have, and like their pee-pee. So that's why you might, if unfortunately you have relations with a dusty, you might be like, but I can't get enough, because that's like literally all he has to offer, which that's a hazard. That's like a health hazard, because he's doing that to like everyone. So a dusty is really good at talking themselves into whatever it is they need, because that's literally their only skill, So you cannot enable a dusty, and just don't let a man over to your house. That's just kind of like ruining the sacred space, in my opinion. Especially if a guy is weird about you coming to their house. It's like either because they don't have a house, or they live with their mom, or they live with a girl, or they live with their baby mama, or like it's just something weird, And if you just feel confused, or like, even like if you feel like this is too good to be true, like this guy's professing his love to me way too soon, it's like, it's for a reason. Like if something feels off, it's because it's off. And a lot of these guys are just really good at lying and really good at manipulating. And because as women, we're just taught to be honest and good and like, most, I know there's some of y'all that were just born savage, but in general, like women are really born to be people pleasers. It's like, we want others to feel comfortable. We want to be honest. We want to have good intentions. And it's just like so shocking when someone can like lie that much or just be that like deceitful. So you just have to really stay on guard. And again, if something feels off, it is, because, and that just goes for anything in life, but it's like, if this were normal, I wouldn't have this like questioning or this like, is this like something's off? Like you wouldn't be thinking those thoughts. They don't even respect you because they don't respect themselves. And like, you're kind of showing that you don't respect yourself by letting someone bend your boundaries, walk all over you, like make you pay for stuff. Like that's like so disgusto. So be ruthless. And it's not even about being ruthless. Like it can feel that way if you're not used to setting boundaries or putting yourself first, but it's just like Once you get used to it, you're like, this is just common sense and second nature. So I asked you guys on Instagram to submit some of your red flags that you look for and icks, and I was like, bonus points if they're a little petty, because I kind of want to dissect the petty ones to get to the deeper meaning. When they keep saying they're going to do something and they never do, and this, I think this is just so true, because you can tell a lot by someone's character, because on one hand, this could be like something they're going to do for you and they never do, and it's just kind of future faking, and they're just trying to breadcrumb you, string you along. But then even if it's like themselves, like if a guy's always saying like, I'm going to quit smoking, I'm going to start going to the gym, I'm going to build my business, I'm going to do that, and they never do, it's like, it's almost like future faking as well, like to you, because why are you even saying that out loud to me? Like, keep it to yourself, babe, write it in a diary. Like, I don't care, like, just show me the proof and the results. And it's just, I don't like that trait in anybody. It's very exhausting to be around, and it's just not a good time. Like, it's not a good look, especially as a man. Like, shut up. Asks how many people you've been with. Yeah, this is a super dusty question. This is a super insecure question, and they're just automatically, they already put you in that category of, like, just being someone they want to sleep with and not take seriously, and they're already being disrespectful. That's a disrespectful question, and I would never take anyone serious who asked me that, because it's just gross and disrespectful, because you're just insinuating, because you wouldn't ask that if you thought this girl had been with like one person or two people, you know? And it's like, it doesn't matter, but just like to a guy who's asking that, it obviously does matter. Also, can I add on to that? A guy who asks, does size matter? And a guy who asks, like, does money matter? Does how much a guy make matters? Because in both of those, you're just kind of exposing, first of all, yourself for being small. In both instances, you got a small bank account. Because why would you be asking that? Someone who was well endowed in both those areas would not be asking that, because you would already just know, like, I got it like that. So, super big turn off. Gross. Guys who know they're good looking. Yeah, I hate that. I hate pretty boy. Hate's a strong word. I don't really like pretty boys, because I feel like that's just very feminine. Like, any man who's a Fashion Nova Men ambassador, I just kind of feel like you're gay. Which, I mean, if you are gay, pop off, like, yes. But, like, a quote-unquote straight man. Any man that is an influencer that does content creation in that way, I just get fruity vibes. I'm sorry. Because it's like, your literal main thing is like looking good. And that's a very like feminine trait. And I'm sorry if that's like not woke of me to say, but maybe like talk to one of these guys and you'll see what I mean. Like, it's weird. They're always looking at themselves. It's just, it's very feminine. It's like, ew. Like, I wouldn't say I like ugly guys, because also I do think it depends a lot on your personality, but it's like, even just physically, like, okay, I have a friend, she loves the pretty boys, and when we're out, she'll be like, oh my god, that guy's so hot, I want to talk to him, and I'll look at him, and he literally will be gay. Like, actually, like, I'm not just saying looks gay, like, will be gay. Like, skincare routine, probably wearing a tinted SPF, you know, like, not full beat, but like, it's like, did you get a lash lift? Like, something. Did you laminate your brows, sis? Because, like, it's kind of giving that. And I don't know, I'm just not attracted to that, because I see you as, like, a peer, you know? Like, you're not, like, a man that I'm attracted to. Like, I'm attracted to, like, I want you to be, like, a man, you know? Like, obviously, have good hygiene, take care of yourself, but be, like, a man. Like, it's like, men can, you know, do whatever they want, whatever, but it's like, that's just not really my type of, like, a guy that's gonna wear a tinted SPF or, like, paint his nails or something like that. Like, I don't want to date a bad bitch. Like, if I did, I would date an actual bad bitch, not, like, a whiny bro. Like, I don't know. Open relationships, someone says. I just would never do that. Like, ew. And also, I feel like in most instances, like, have you guys seen the Reddit posts where it's like, my wife and I decided to open our marriage. She already has a new boyfriend, and, like, I can't even get a date. I can't even sleep with anyone. Like, all these women ignore me. It's like, yeah, babe, like, your player days are long gone. You're bald. In a bad way. Like, I don't have anything against, like, bald guys. Like, I kind of like bald guys. I feel like they usually have money, but Like, there's a certain bald guy aesthetic where you know they have money, you know? But, like, when I say balding in this case, it's, like, in a not cute way. Like, in just, like, an open relationship, like, dusty, I'll go away. Like, no. When he doesn't book reservations for dates, I hate waiting. Yeah. If a guy... that just shows me you have bad planning ahead skills and you're not chic. Because if you went out to eat often enough, you would know to book a reservation. And then, because it's like me and my girly pop friends will do that. Book a reservation. It's not hard. Especially if you're in a big city, babe. Like, you need to book a reservation even for, like, a happy hour sometimes, you know? It's like, it's not that deep. If he texts too much or too often when you don't know each other yet, yeah, because I just kind of get the vibe. I have that too. And it's like, I think for me, it's like, you don't even know me yet and you're texting me this much. So you do this with every girl, you know? And you'll have to remember that guys think that way too. So if you sleep with a guy quick, like in a lot of instances, or like you do this or that, it's like they're going to think she's like this with every guy, you know, and they're going to put you in that category. If he calls women females, yeah, like what's with that? Like they just always have this specific dusty vibe. No one chic would do that. No one chic would do that. How they feel when I dress sexy and if they cover their mouth to yawn. Yeah, like basically someone insecure. Well, I don't get the covering their mouth to yawn. Like this girl must have had a triggering experience. Like I don't want you to yawn all in my face like loud, disgusting, you know? But I want to know what she means. When they can't hold their own with your friends or in social settings. Yeah, like I don't want someone socially awkward. Like I don't know. Again, it's like be a man. Openly being dirty, like not cleaning. Like not even ashamed of it. Ick, yeah. Ew. Hopefully, I think, I don't know. It seems like for a lot of guys that changes as they get older. They have their own place. You know, they just like learn like this is what women like, is a clean house. Like, you know, it seems. Probably some guys never grow out of it. But also those are like chic guys that live by themselves in nice apartments. It's not like someone's dusty husband whose mom did everything for them and now their wife does everything for them. Okay, last one I'm gonna read. When there's even a minor problem and they immediately have an excuse and find justification. Okay, especially as a man. It's like, you guys are supposed to be more logical, quote unquote. You're like, as a man, I need to be able to like trust you. Like, you need to be a problem solver. Just even as like a friend, like a girly pop friend. It's like, I don't want to be around someone, period. I don't care who it is who's like always trying to be the victim or not trying to problem solve or just wants to complain all the time. Again, it's exhausting to be around. I'm too smart for that. I'm too much of a problem solver for that. So especially as a man, for me to even respect you a little bit, you're going to have to like not act like that and like be a problem solver and be solution oriented, because otherwise I'm going to see you as like a little boy and I'm not going to respect your parents either. Or your entire family. Some of these guys, it's like, how were you raised? Like, literally. Full disrespect. It's shocking. What we can learn from today. Be curious, especially when it comes to dates and stuff. Again, think logically. Be curious. It's not about playing games, being avoidant, whatever. But again, I think so many women overshare, overgive, that like if you pull back, again, you're just leveling it out. Because you have to admit with men, they do know how to put themselves first. If a man isn't okay with the situation, he will dip. Like, it's true. Queens of self-respect, you know? Like, not really, but like, LOL, in an LOL way. And if you're not having a good time, leave. Like, goals. This girl said she left a date on TikTok. She was like telling a story time about how she just like went to the bathroom, called herself an Uber, and like left. Kind of mood. Like, it's like, I hope I don't have to be in that situation where it's that bad of a date, but like kind of iconic. Take some deep breaths. I think another important thing, especially for a first date, first couple dates, is like, don't drink too much, because you need to be able to be aware. So I know a lot of you girlies do pregame your dates because you're nervous. Stick to like one drink before, just to kind of calm the nerves if you are that nervous. And then on the date, don't drink too much. Number one, you don't want to come across as messy or like an alcoholic. Number two, you want to be fully aware, you know, of what's happening, how you feel, how your body is reacting to this person. So those are my tips. Let me know your tips down below. That's going to be all we talk about this week. Don't forget to follow me on TikTok because I've been going live. We've been having some chats on there. And I will see you guys next week. Bye, everyone.